Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. And this week marks the anniversary of the tragic death at the age of 31, if you can believe it, of one of the finest vocalists of all time, and that was Minnie Riperton. Now, Minnie Riperton was someone who is vocal royalty. She's of course well known for having a wonderful range where she can sing at extremely high octaves without having to go into a falsetto or using any other vocal, let alone electronic trickery. Truly a voice like an angel, but so diverse and so broad. And I've talked about her before, but one of the things that I want to talk about is how diverse her recorded output is. So many different types of music across her albums. And she did all of this before her 30, just after her 31st birthday. Now, after some time with the very interesting band Rotary Connection, she released her solo debut called Come to My Garden in 1917. It's one of the most interesting albums you'll ever hear. The title track is a work of beauty, and it's very much in a style of music that I would say is very much influenced in terms of both the composition and the arrangements by Jimmy Webb. Complex chords, interesting harmonies, interesting arrangements. You've got Ramsey Lewis on piano, Morris White on drums, so many interesting artists. And her husband wrote much of the music, Richard Rudolph. And of course, they have a very famous daughter together, the comedian and actress Maya Rudolph. Her second album, Perfect Angel, has the song Loving You on it, which became a big hit for her. And some would say it's her iconic song. Arrangements much simpler than on the first album, but such wonderful music. By 75, she had begun exploring funk music, and you have Adventures in Paradise. Again, all tracks on this album written by Minnie and Minnie Riperton herself, and of course her husband, Richard Rudolph. And one of the songs that's a standout on what is just a really great album is Inside My Love. It's been sampled by so many hip hop artists. Absolutely great song. And she followed this up with a soul, funk, and everything in between on the album Stay in Love from 77. Such a great album. Really not a bad track on the album at all. And then, of course, you've got her self-titled album from 79. This was not long before she would die. And it's got so many great songs, including Light My Fire, a cover by The Doors, where she shares the record with Jose Feliciano, one of my favorite guitar players ever, one of the acoustic guitar virtuosos of modern music. And he, of course, joins her. He famously did his version of that song 10 years before. And then, of course, there's an album that was released posthumously, Love Lives Forever, which had so many wonderful guests on the album. You had Hubert Laws, the great Peebo Bryce, and Roberta Flack, who we lost only recently. Stevie Wonder plays on the album. George Benson sings on it. Patrice Rushen plays piano and vocal. And it's just such a great album with so many musicians, featuring music she recorded just before her death. And this album is, again, it sort of goes back to where it begins, and with 80, with late 70s style arrangements, but of these grand soulful ballads and up-tempo pieces as well that were reminiscent of some of her earlier work. And it is amazing in how just over 10 years she created such a cohesive and such a wonderful body of work, all of which luckily is online. So check out Minnie Riperton, a true virtuoso. She would have, I think, gone on to be even more prolific if she hadn't died tragically at such a young age. But her music, of course, will live on. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.